All right. Hello. It is a pleasure as always to be here. This is B, the intelligence transmitting through David. It is currently late Sunday night, early Monday morning, and there's an opening to be able to bring through some context about a topic that's rather touchy in spiritual communities, and to bring through a teaching that some will have difficulty with, that some will fervently disagree with, specifically the law of attraction, manifestation. And we're going to weave this teaching through some context to help it make sense. But ultimately, we're here to challenge this idea and to offer a context, a reality context, a way of looking at your reality and at yourself and the way that your decisions create your reality. Help you to navigate your circumstances, move you into various timelines. And we're going to speak to how your thoughts and emotions have very little to do with that process. So from the very beginning, we acknowledge that this is the core of many individuals' spiritual context, their understanding of how reality works. And in this, we're not here to destabilize. We're not here to invalidate. We're not here to say that this teaching is bad and terrible. But we are here to offer some context around it so you can see its place. And also, at the time when it's no longer serving, dial deeper into a more grounded understanding of how this reality works. So as we said, there are going to be individuals who absolutely will not agree and will not like this teaching, and that's entirely okay. And if that happens to be you, feel free to move on. We're here to speak specifically to those who are struggling with this idea and feel a deeper context wanting to come online. And for those individuals, if that's you, we'd love to help make it incredibly clear where these ideas of manifestation, the law of attraction, have served their place, what purpose they served specifically, and why, at a certain point in your own internal awareness, they can no longer take you any further. They can no longer help you to become more precise and dialed as a soul-aligned individual. So, first off, let's look at how we're defining this term. It is this idea, manifestation, law of attraction, that what you think and what you feel, even more specifically, are directly creating your reality. So, if you are feeling worrisome about the future, you will create that worrisome future for a wide variety of reasons. There are different rationalizations for why this happens in order for you to be able to play it out so that you can see that you can have something better. Whatever it may be, it is this idea that it is quite literally the thoughts that you are having in your head or the feeling that you are feeling in your body that is generating this physical experience around you. And taken to its extremes, it's the idea that everyone's collective thoughts and emotions are creating this collective reality. And if everyone were to simply believe and feel something different, this reality would fundamentally shift. From our perspective, this isn't true. However, also from our perspective, this idea serves an incredibly important purpose. And in its inception, there was a significant amount of light made available through this idea. Specifically, for a person who has no differentiation between their body and their soul truth, they're going to feel different experiences within their being. They're going to feel the downward spiral of thought that leads them to make decisions that ultimately aren't in alignment with who they truly are, that aren't grounded in truth from a soul perspective, and they're going to feel a positive feeling inside that everything's going to be okay, and that no matter how things play out, divinity has their back, and that there's a way through, that things are going to work out. For this individual who can't differentiate these things out as body and soul, to tell this individual to stay positive and to align their feelings and their thoughts with that positive feeling, they are more likely to trend toward making decisions based on their soul versus making decisions from their mind or from their natural bodily responses. So one way that we've described this before is that there is a massive orchestration of divinity taking place on this planet. Divinity is helping to orchestrate your circumstances. These ideas are like giving a child sitting in the back seat of a car a steering wheel to drive the car. It occupies them so that the car can be driven more peacefully and more easily. And similarly, for someone who is actively taking their hands off of the wheel of their life and saying, God, bring me something incredible. I'm looking for a miracle, preferably this particular style of miracle around my finances or around my relationship working out, whatever it may be. They open up the possibilities for those things to happen because they're not actively choosing otherwise. They're not actively choosing based on all of their fears and worries. They're not actively moving their life down these detours, doing out of alignment actions, sending out of alignment messages or posts, whatever that may be. And when they take their hands off of the real steering wheel of their life and are open to miracles happening, then when they see those things come into their life or when they attract those things, then they're incredibly, incredibly likely to choose that thing. So in this, these ideas of law of attraction and manifestation have served an incredible purpose on the planet. But at some point, if positivity is your only goal, then when soul presses you into discomfort on purpose, for you to be able to build a greater degree of inner solidity, or for you to be able to overcome certain biological mechanisms, you're going to turn away from soul to chase positivity, even though soul divinity is bringing you into discomfort on purpose because it is ideal. And in these scenarios, these ideas of the law of attraction and manifestation pull you away from your soul's truth and away from divinity. This is the price to pay for this technology. So we can look at law of attraction and manifestation as a primitive technology. One that has its problems, but also serves a purpose. And for a very specific person in a very specific phase of life where they're unable to distinguish between these various pieces of them, it helps them to make significantly more decisions from their soul's truth. So for this exact reason, many spiritual individuals who now have a great degree of differentiation between body and soul and are able to dial into their soul's truth, trust their intuitive knowing continually. At some point, we're referencing law of attraction, manifestation, and moving toward positivity. All this being said, the detriment of chasing positivity over even soul truth in those moments can only be bared for so long. At some point, the reality context is ideal to shift. So for many spiritual individuals who have been continuing down this path for quite some time, differentiating out what their soul's truth feels like within their being, who are directly invoking their soul, who are calling in their oversoul, disconnecting from the collective, anchoring their soul's truest essence into their being, and trusting their intuitive knowing. At some point, soul asks you to update your reality context so that you can be even more precise. Because the ultimate goal here, from soul, from divinity, is for each individual on this planet to be able to anchor their truest soul essence into their being and radiate it out into the world. Anchoring your soul's essence into your being means making 100% of your decisions from your intuitive knowing as purely and truly as possible. Because when you're able to do this, divinity is able to help guide you through your circumstances from a bird's eye view. Divinity is able to help you navigate whatever challenges may arise with a deep level of precision. You're able to offload the processing power that's needed to figure out what's ideal to divinity, whose entire job is to deliver you what is ideal. And in doing so, you immediately become more precise in your life. Things immediately become more ideal. So we'd like to offer an alternative reality context for these individuals who are already searching for one anyway. This is the most important distinction we can make. You are a body, and you are also a soul. Your body and your soul are constantly interacting, but you perceive yourself as a single thing. You have an identity structure. You can call it an emergent ego structure that comes out of this and essentially says, who am I in this very moment? How much of a blend of this soul thing am I, and how much of a blend of this body thing am I in this very moment? When you learn to differentiate between your body and your soul, and that becomes the core context for how you perceive these phenomena, instantly everything starts to bucket. You start to see the pieces of you that are firing from old biological baggage, whether it be in your own personal life or through your lineage, wherever this biological baggage may come from, you begin to see when it is your body trying to make decisions manically from a projection of the terrible things that are certain to happen in a very short period of time. And you can differentiate out this bodily response that is natural, that every single person on your planet feels, and that is inescapable because you are in this body. You're able to differentiate that out from your connection to divinity and your truth as a soul. And when you're able to do this, it comes down to a very simple choice in every single moment of your life to embody and to listen to your body or your soul. Am I going to make this decision in this moment based on my biological mechanism or based on my intuitive knowing? from divinity. There are going to be things that are incredibly difficult to overcome biologically, and more often than not, when something is new and deeply confronting, you're going to watch yourself play out your bodily mechanism until you realize it doesn't work, and then you're going to try the soul thing that was coming through from the beginning anyway. But over time, even your body begins to learn that your soul's truth is not only valid, that this intuitive knowing is not only valid, but is divine. That there is a higher source, that there is a larger orchestration that has significantly more processing power, significantly more access to truth than you do on the ground floor. And when you listen to it, things go incredibly well. And as your body learns this, the whole you comes into deeper and deeper alignment with divinity. You anchor your soul's essence into your being and begin radiating out in the world because it's simply who you are. It's how you operate in the world. This context is very, very different from manifestation because it has nothing to do with the thoughts or emotions that your body is feeling and has everything to do with the decision that you make even while you are feeling those things. Even though I can feel my body firing in deep fear, worry, anxiety, I know this bodily response. I'm incredibly familiar with what this feels like. And I can also simultaneously feel my soul's truth that this is going to be okay. That I don't actually need to take this manic action in order to ensure my safety because my safety is already ensured. This is where deep soul precision comes into play. This is where divinity is able to guide your actions, is able to guide your reality into more and more ideal circumstances every single step of the way, even when the thing that soul has to walk you through is uncomfortable. There are absolutely things that divinity will walk you through, whether it be internal or even external circumstances that are uncomfortable, that are scary, or that don't feel very good, specifically because you facing this experience externally or internally means building a level of inner solidity that allows you to radiate your soul's essence out into the world to a greater degree for the rest of your life. That is worth it by any metric you may measure it by, perhaps other than the momentary feeling in your body of, I don't like this discomfort. So for those of you teetering around these ideas of law of attraction, asking questions like, is it really necessary for me to monitor my every thought and emotion and to have 5 positive thoughts for every negative thought? Or to gloss over my negative emotions by generating positivity on top of it? For those of you asking those questions, the answer is no. You don't have to do any of that. The thing that has been trying to come in line within you this entire time is a deep level of precision of you trusting your soul's truth. And once you've learned to do this, you no longer have to monitor your thoughts and emotions with a magnifying glass looking for things that are wrong. And you certainly don't have to change those things because you begin to learn that your body only learns through experience. That until your body sees it and feels it, experiences it, it's not going to update its experiences because your body's experience is based on just that experience and nothing else. Once you realize this, you let go of the need to monitor everything, and you begin to dial instead into, even though I am feeling this, what actually is true here. And you begin to separate out the manic drive to take action from fear or even from shame. I'm having this negative thought and I need to clear it immediately. You learn to let that mechanism fire and dial into your soul's truth anyway and listen to the guidance that you're getting. That is a level of soul precision that is not only possible, but which is vital for the future of your planet, because there are many things about your reality that are deeply uncomfortable to look at. There are many things currently happening on the planet that are deeply, deeply painful to acknowledge. And if you have to stay positive all the time, you'll be unable to acknowledge those things. You'll be unable to face reality, and you will inevitably disassociate from the world, thinking that that's the way forward, not just for your own life, but for the world. Thinking that you're doing reality a service by being unwilling to look at it. If I simply don't look, if I avoid, if I disassociate, then I can be positive and create positivity on the world that is the opposite of the truth. What this world needs more than ever now is deeply grounded, soul-aligned individuals, those who are willing to listen to soul even in the most painful of experiences or challenging of experiences. This is how soul comes to this planet, grounded here into the physical experience. Soul will not come to this planet, light will not come to this planet through disassociation. So this is the opening that was here to be able to lay this context. It is an incredibly important idea. And though there are different ways to look at this, this is the best that we can possibly articulate through David. This is the context that's helped him the most, that's helped Miriam the most, who's also here. Hello, Miriam. And has helped many individuals to be able to gain clarity on their own internal experience. Because the truth is, you are a body and you are a soul. And your only job, the only reason why you came here, is to be able to bring the soul that you are into your embodiment, to model something different in this experience, all the way into your physicality through your decisions, and to radiate it out in the world through your decisions, by others being able to witness the decisions that you make, even when it is incredibly challenging. Even when you have personal gain at stake, when you can see openings to make even more money quickly by manipulating others or by withholding pieces of the truth or by adopting other people's strategies that you don't necessarily agree with but recognize that they'll work. When you're willing to sacrifice your own personal gain for the truth, the oddest thing happens where you begin to discover even more personal gain, but within a win-win. This is what divinity is always trying to bring to you, is a win-win for you and the planet and all of existence. This is the thing that's being delivered through your intuitive channels in every single moment, constantly. This is the ideal that is rippling through your being that we call soul. And when you learn to make decisions based on that soul truth, even when your body is crying out certain doom, that is when the ideal comes into your life, and that is when the ideal ripples out through you into every person you come into contact with. This is the light coming to this planet, deeply engaged, deeply grounded, soul-aligned decisions. And for those of you teetering on this now, this is the context that's trying to come alive within you, to let yourself off the hook for being human and being in a body. You do not need to reject this planet. You do not need to reject your body in order to ascend. Light is not disassociation. Light is not positivity. Light is not positive emotions. Light is ideal. So we hope this context, as confronting as it may be for some, helps to bring even more of that ideal into your own life and into the lives of those around you. Divinity is not here to send you into spirals of shame and disassociation and to have you close your eyes at the world. Divinity is here to help you engage with precision, guided by the full power of all of light. So please continue to engage, continue to trust yourself, and continue to notice the differentiation between these two pieces of you, of your biological mechanisms and your soul. And remember that no matter what you are thinking or feeling, no matter what is firing, it is your decisions that create, nothing more, nothing less. When you know this, the ideal comes deeper into your life than it ever has before, and the ideal gets rippled out through you more deeply than it ever has before. So much love to you. It's been a pleasure as always to share this space with you, to be able to bring through this message. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here, not just in this conversation, but on this planet. So much love to you, and we'll speak to you at a later time. Bye for now.